Hello, welcome YouTube, Twitch, and people who are watching on Twitter. This is going to be my match preview of the Arsenal versus Villarreal game, second leg in the Europa League. And this is going to be one which is the biggest game of the season. This is very crucial, not just to our season, but for Arteta's managerial career. Let's get right into it. Hello, welcome back, people. Obviously, what we're going to be doing is a tactical show. We're going to do it live this time, just to kind of see how this format works out. But what we're going to do is have a look at Villarreal versus Getafe and Newcastle versus Arsenal. And we're going to be taking a look at tactical breakdowns and what kind of ideas were implemented for this second leg. Obviously, what I'm going to do now is share the screen, and we are going to get on with this. Obviously, what we're going to be focusing on first is the Villarreal versus Getafe game, which is obviously Villarreal's game on the weekend. Now, what I want you to look at is kind of what players were rested and what wasn't. Yes, Assemble, mate, how you doing? I might not be putting comments on the screen today, but I will definitely be interacting just because I might be doing something on screen. But I hope you guys are all right. Obviously, on here, we can see a system change from a 4-2-3-1 into a 4-4-2, which was played against Arsenal, into a 4-2-3-1 against Getafe. Now, obviously, we can see they've got their cup keeper who's Rulli, and obviously Asensio goes in against Getafe. Pau Torres keeps his place. Obviously, you had Parejo and Capoue still in there. Chukwueze still in there. And obviously Alcacer still in there. But obviously Ibai Gomez, you've got Mario Gaspar, you've got Tenorio, you've got the likes of, obviously Alcacer was there, but the likes of Moreno were rested. You had the likes of Tagueros, obviously not rested, but he had a suspension. And Abiol was rested as well, and obviously their cup keeper. So they have rested a few key figureheads against Getafe, obviously beating them 1-0. Now, obviously what I want to draw to here is just a few things, really, and I'm going to just do it with a pen. Now, obviously, the ball is here. So, obviously, this is the person with the ball. What he decides to do is take a shot from here. Rather, he has a few options. Now, what we can see is this defensive line here. Yeah? Can we see it here? And look at how much space is actually in these areas here. There's quite a lot for him to just pop the ball here, for that player to make that overlapping run and bring the ball in here to make a cross into the ball, rather than what he actually does is takes a shot from here and tries to get it into Asensio here, which is never going to really work. And this is why I keep saying to people, the wider areas are where we need to start exploiting. Now, when we look at it, obviously, we're going to look at the wide area exploitation in more detail. Yes, hey, J90 Harris, man, how you doing? You good? Arsenal press there. And obviously, we've got assembled here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Obviously, do like and subscribe if it's your first time. And obviously, we're just going to be doing like a tactical breakdown. But this is what I wanted to show you, because this is one of the key things here. Now, decision-making from Getafe was really poor in this game. And I was kind of watching it just to see whether my theories were right and what I've been seeing all season. Now, the player starts here. The man here is obviously here, and you can see they've crowded the box more than they've crowded any other area. You've got Cucurella here with so much space. He's going to make a driving run here. He's going to obviously continue his run coming here. Now, the person with the ball should be making a better decision than he actually does. Now, what he ends up doing is kind of running into this area here and then trying to go for a shot. What he could be doing is popping it off here, which will draw this player to him, and it'll actually draw him out, giving Cucurella enough room to give him more of a freedom to go forward. Now, from that place, he'd end up here. You can make the ball in, which is a better opportunity for you to score. What he decides to do is actually take the run into the box, take the man on, and take a shot, which obviously goes wide here, which is the wrong decision. This is why I keep saying, for Arsenal Football Club, the key is going to be how we make our decision and where we make those decisions. Because when we go back from here, starting off here, there's so many other things that he could have done in instead of what he actually decides to do. So when we now look here, taking the shot was the wrong option. There were so many opportunities for passes that he could have made. Even in this position here, he could have drilled it across marks. There's a lot of that we could be doing in those wide. If Kieran Tierney is back and we can have the likes of Martinelli in this game, that's going to be really key and crucial to how we play and how we dominate this game. Now, Villarreal only had one shot in the first half. Yes, they only had one shot. They were going for a more defensive solidity rather than actually going for the game. Now, it starts off here. I believe, yeah, that's Capoue here, and you can see Alcacer. Now, one of the things that they did, again, which is pretty much poor defending, very basic defending, is crowd the man with the ball rather than looking at the man. Even if you look at here, he doesn't notice his man. He should be obviously locking in more closely to Alcacer. But what ends up happening is Capoue plays in a ball to Alcacer. Diginier, or however you say his name, obviously is trying to make a recovering run. He doesn't lock Alcacer down, even though he sees him. Leads to Alcacer winning the ball in the box, even with a man full of defenders, leaving Capoue free on the edge of the box. Look at this. You got 2, you got 3, and you got 4, potentially 5 players unmarked. Now, this is what they're going to do. They're going to attack in 5s and 6s when they come forward, similar to what Arsenal do. Now, obviously, Capoue doesn't really get the best of shots away, which is kind of fortunate for them. Now, what we're going to look at now is Villarreal's goal. Starts off, obviously, here with, I can't remember his name, starting off with here with the man on the ball. What he then does in this situation is takes the man on and comes into sort of this position here. Now, this is the thing. They've got very decorative players who can take man on and have really fast, skillful, and pacey players within their front line. Even in this situation here, you can cross it or you can drill it across if you really wanted to. But the easy option here is, look, and this is why I keep saying that decision-making and organization is the reason why they're so successful at what they do. He drills it in. He absolutely drills it into the bottom corner, getting their first goal and only goal of the game, ending 1-0 in the 80th minute. Keeping a clean sheet obviously gives them a boost in defense, but this is what we need to be very careful of because their counter-attacking abilities and pushing men forward is very key to how they break teams down. Now, I want you to look at Newcastle versus Arsenal. Obviously, lineup, we can see a massive difference. Obviously, Aubameyang coming in for Smith Rowe. Odegaard keeps the number 10. Willian and Martinelli coming in instead of the likes of Pepe and Saka. Ceballos and El Neni obviously giving Partey a rest. Xhaka keeps his place. We've got a whole different backline here with Bellerin, Luiz and Gabriel, and obviously Xhaka playing in left back. Xhaka keeps that left back position, but it was Marian Holding versus Villarreal with Chambers coming in on the right, obviously Leno and Ryan in goal, respectively. Now, when we look at El Neni's first goal, where does it all start from? It starts from David Luiz right here, pinging the ball all the way, just direct, straight direct, because look at how high their line is here. You can see the line is high. Bellerin gets in behind. It's easy because he's obviously in line with the defender there anyway, keeps on, but it's direct over the top ball that breaks this Newcastle team down. Now, Bellerin receives the ball here, and obviously we know what happens here. It's not Aubameyang that scores, but what ends up happening is Bellerin drills the ball into this sort of area here. Aubameyang comes in, closes it down, gets in front of the defender, which is what we've not been seeing a lot of this season. Now, obviously, what we know here is he fluffs the shot, which then obviously the ball kind of comes in. The ball kind of comes out into this area here. And El Neni picks it up and drills it all the way into the bottom corner right here. No one's picking him out. He's in a pocket full of space, and obviously he's been picking on with on his shots. Now, Aubameyang's goal was a different story. Aubameyang obviously making the run here, which is right here, getting on, obviously 3 defenders around him, not really much that he can do. Obviously, when he does, he loses the ball. It ricochets into Martin Odegaard. Odegaard makes a slight dribble into this area here. So obviously he gets the ball, receives it here, and kind of makes a run just about here. And then what he does is he flows it into Martinelli's path. Now, what you can see is obviously Aubameyang is going to make that driving run into this area here. Now, we can see that's going to happen. Obviously, Martinelli picks the pocket of space into the likes of Aubameyang here, who continues his run and obviously finishes the ball. Now, that was obviously one of the key things that I wanted people to understand why that was so key, because the things that Arteta was trying to do is exactly how we're going to look to break Villarreal down. Now, one of the things that we learned in the first leg is he loves to play this high line. You know, Emery has this obsession to play a high line, defend from the front, and come obviously when coming back, he obviously defends in fours. Now, what we tried on the weekend is exactly what we need to be doing against Villarreal, which is pace up top with a lot of control in the midfield. Now, Newcastle wasn't the best example to be using because they're not really that great. They didn't really do a lot. They didn't cause us any issues or any problems within that sort of defensive role. So it is a bit one of those where we can sit there and think, well, it is only Newcastle, and that would be right to say. But it's the ideas, it's getting those tactics into their heads and drilling them on how to play this football. And that's one of the things that they were able to do. Aubameyang looked a lot better. Aubameyang started to look like the man he wants to be. Obviously, a lot of quotes coming out from him today, which I am going to read some out because they are quite key in terms of his own progression. Now, he's talking about kind of what happened this season. And I'm just going to get a few quotes up for you. Obviously, there's the interview. I'm going to try and get them up because I do think they're quite key to seeing what's gone on with Aubameyang. Obviously, one of them was, I was very, very bad. This was the worst moment of being sick in my life. I was 3 days in with 3 days in a row with a fever, all days, all night. Even the paracetamol had no effect on this. I think I lost 4 kilos. My family was scared to see me like this. And Aubameyang again with another quote today in a press conference saying, when I had the issue with my mum, the club were really kind to me. They let me go to see her. It was really nice thing from the club. Definitely it's been a difficult year because I'm used to seeing family quite often. Maybe I feel a bit responsible why we're in this situation we're in right now. We have to take the opportunity to change it and get to the final and win it. Now, a lot of fighting talk from Aubameyang, the captain of Arsenal Football Club, is coming out and saying all the right things. But what I am going to do is kind of do a predicted 11, which obviously people in the comments can actually kind of play along with me if they really want to. Now, this is what I'm gonna do a combination of what I think Arteta will do and a combination of what I think should be done as well. And in goal, goes without really saying, it is going to be Leno returning in the sticks. I'd be really surprised if he goes with Matt Ryan. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, the centre-back pairings, David Luiz is out for this game, so we do have to consider that. And it probably is more than likely going to be Rob Holding and Pablo Mari, which, to be honest, other than the fact none of them can pass from the back, I don't really have too much of an issue with it. My right back for this game would be Cedric. And then at left back, personally, I'd play Saka, and you'll see why in a moment. I'd play Saka just because I'm not sure whether Tierney is definitely back. The pivot here, for me anyway, is going to be this. And I know a lot of people are now going to put El Neni into their teams, which is fine. You can do that if that's what you really want to do. And you have Partey here. The reason why I would do it like this, not only because it brings the presence back of Xhaka in midfield, but it allows Xhaka to obviously still play that left-back position because he always covers for them anyway. So it's not like it's going to change a lot. Here, obviously, I think it's going to be Emil Smith-Rowe coming back. And it's kind of what I want and kind of not what I want at the same time, because I would like it to be Odegaard because I just think he controls the game better. So it is going to be a difficult one just to kind of understand what he does in this sense. Obviously, then we've got the two kind of question, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put my striker in because that's the easy one. Now it comes to the options of the wing. We've got Willian, Pepe, we've got Martinelli, we've got they're actually the only three. Or we could be putting Aubameyang on the left, and we could be playing the likes of Lacazette up top. Big up Souls. Yes, N5, mate. Hope you're doing well. Talking Barca, yeah, big up yourself. Would you take Neymar at Barca? Probably. So I would play Gabriel, Chambers, Cedric, Tierney, Partey, Xhaka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Aubameyang. So you'd leave Pepe out. That's quite an interesting one. Obviously, Gabriel and Chambers were the centre back pairing when David Luiz got injured, which, to be fair, I don't really know whether that would work, but it didn't look too bad. But for me personally, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Martinelli because I feel like this is what we need to be doing. Whether this actually happens is now a different story. My right mid would be Pepe, just because we need that creative element of just kind of surprise factors. I hear the Ryan in goal, but I don't think it's going to happen. So it's a combination of what I believe will happen and a combination of what I want. And I kind of will talk you through the decision-making process, why I went with this team. Now, when you look at Aubameyang, obviously we need his pace. He is the captain, first-team captain, fighting talk from himself, a lot to prove, and he seems to be getting into that right mindset. And Pepe, just that creative element of surprise factor and a wow factor from himself will always give us an opportunity to win a game just giving him the ball. Martinelli is just Martinelli, and that's why he's in there. No, because he's incredible, man. What he can do, the press that he brings, and just the energy he brings, and just the sheer fact of relentless pressing and relentless coming at players is exactly what we need. And obviously talking Barca here, saying holding is not good enough for Arsenal. I actually agree, but the unfortunate thing is centre-backs are in partnerships rather than together. The reason why I want Smith Rowe is for the energy that he brings and the fact that he can take the ball and move with it. Partey and Xhaka kind of self-explanatory. The reason why I'd go Saka is because we're not really going to lose anything. He can't finish the ball, so I'd rather him come and do what he does well, which is kind of defend but cross the ball in. He got double figure assists, so why can't he do it from left back again? That's my reason. And Marie and Holding is just because that's the partnership that works. And then Cedric, because I feel like out of the lot, he probably is the best right back we have. I wouldn't mind seeing Chambers there either, to be honest. And then Leno is just because he's our number one. But that's obviously what I think is going to be in terms of just the lineup, in terms of how I see the game going. And obviously assemble here, so this all makes sense to us. The problem is the manager. He appears to be a law unto himself. He tries to surprise our opponent. All he achieves is a surprise to everyone with the lineup intact. No, 100% assemble. I 100% agree. The thing is, right, look, the fact with the first half, or the first lecture, let's say, is we didn't really have a striker fit because Lacazette was out. Aubameyang was returning from malaria, but he did have a player who could actually play strike in Martinelli and decided not to for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't understand why. I hope he does come out and explain the decision for not playing Martinelli as often as he has. Now he has Aubameyang and obviously Lacazette back, so he has no excuse. He doesn't need to be playing this for. Well, firstly, we don't really have a false nine. Number one, because we don't have a goal-scoring midfielder or someone who can slot in there and still score the goals and be a focal point to our attacks. We just don't have anyone dictating that style of play. So it doesn't make sense to me. But what I will do is just pop it up again whilst I talk about it. Now, it doesn't really make any sense to me why he would do that. But it's one of those where he doesn't really have a reason to do it anymore. Because what is he going to say? Oh, he doesn't trust the youth, or he doesn't trust certain players. It'd just be bizarre to me. So this is obviously kind of why I'd go for this lineup, because it's pace up top, but controlling the midfield, and it's still a good enough defense. Obviously, for us, it makes a lot of sense to do this. Whether Arteta will is another question. And for me, I am very confident, and I mean this, I am very, very, very confident we're going to secure our spot in the final. And I know that's going to sound like, what are you talking about? Well, how can you say it with so much? I really do. Because this Villarreal team, we have everything in our locker to beat this team. We really do. As a squad, we have pace, we have the clinicalness. We should be able to be ruthless enough to win this game. The only problem is, can we keep that all-important clean sheet? Now, I heard a stat in the last 12, 15 games in the Europa League at home, we've kept a clean sheet, 3 coming from the last season. So we have got the ability to do it, but will we do it is the question. So my prediction for this is going to be 3-1 to Arsenal. I think we might do it in the 90 minutes. I have been saying penalties, but my official score prediction is going to be 3-1 to Arsenal, and we do it in the 90 minutes, and we don't drag this game along. But obviously, do get your questions in or anything that you want to say, and I will obviously get that to people. I'm not sure how to say your name. If you do want to say it, that's perfectly fine. Villarreal will win, and people's focus is Chelsea versus Real Madrid. No, 100% no, I understand. If you are new, do subscribe and like. It does massively help. There's a lot of obviously tactical breakdown shows coming your way. This is just the beginning of many. So now thank you obviously for people who have subscribed. 156 now, so that is absolutely amazing. Thank you everyone for subscribing and liking the video. And obviously this is going to come to the end of it, and it's going to conclude the video. Thank you everyone who has watched, and stay tuned. And thank you everyone. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is Gunnar Soul signing out.